She just wanted her day's pay. Anna, daughter of a cleaner from Rosina, stepped into the mansion in Beverly Hills with one goal: clean and leave. But when she heard a baby's cry, something inside her broke. She sang. He stopped crying. And unknowingly, a man watched her from the doorway, in silence for the first time in months. From that moment on, nothing in the house, and within them, would be the same. The automatic gate opened slowly, and the heat of the asphalt shimmered in waves from the stone ground. Anna clutched her slender shoulders inside the new uniform and took a deep breath. It wasn't the first wealthy home she'd worked in, but this one felt different, too large, too quiet. At the entrance, she was greeted by Miss Jenkins, the stern-faced housekeeper. No talking to the residents. Don't go up to the third floor, and most importantly, don't enter the baby's room. Anna nodded silently. She grabbed the cleaning supplies and went up the stairs. On the second floor, the crying seeped through the slightly ajar door like a plea. She hesitated. She shouldn't. But she went in. The baby, lying in the crib, cried with squeezed eyes and tiny fisted hands. Without thinking, Anna approached, picked him up, and began to sing softly. That's when she felt a shiver. Someone was watching her from the hallway. In silence. Anna's song wasn't rehearsed. It was memory. It was the same one her mother sang in their two-room shack at the top of the hill, while washing clothes in colorful basins. Sleep, my dear. The street cannot reach you. She never forgot. Not even when her mother fell ill. Not even when, at 10, she had to become an adult overnight to raise Sophia, the little sister who arrived without warning, like most things in their lives. As she rocked the baby, Anna felt his crying slow down, as if each note unraveled a knot in his tiny chest. He leaned his face on her shoulder and slept. She only realized she wasn't alone when she heard a discreet cough. She turned slowly. A tall man in a light suit with a burdened gaze stood at the door. He said nothing, just watched. Anna stood paralyzed, the baby still in her arms. He was crying so much. I didn't see anyone around. I'm sorry. The man stared at her for a few more seconds. Then, in a low voice, he simply said, "You sang him to sleep?" She nodded, embarrassed. "It's just that my sister, when she was little, I used to do that with her." He approached the crib, looking at his son with an unreadable expression. He hasn't slept like this in months. Anna felt the weight of those words, as if she had intruded on something too intimate. "What's your name?" he asked, without lifting his eyes from the baby. "Anna Silva. Continue with the cleaning," he said, already moving away. "But if it's not too much trouble, come back here later. If he cries—" He paused, swallowed hard. "Sing." She didn't answer. She just sat there, her heart racing. When she went downstairs to continue working, Miss Jenkins was waiting for her, arms crossed, hard gaze. "What were you doing upstairs?" Anna hesitated. "He was crying. You came to clean, not to form bonds." Anna lowered her eyes. But inside, something had already shifted. It was there that everything began to unravel. That night, lying on the thin mattress next to her sister, Anna couldn't sleep. Sophia snored peacefully, clutching the drawing notebook she'd received from a community project. Anna stared at the stained plaster ceiling of the rented house and tried to understand what she had felt earlier, not just the weight of that baby in her arms, but what the song had given back to her, a forgotten memory of when her mother used to say, "One day, my daughter, you will sing to entire audiences, because your voice heals." She hadn't believed that in years, not since she had to abandon the community choir, the rehearsals, and the dreams. But when Leo fell asleep in her arms, something reignited. The next morning, upon arriving at the mansion, Miss Jenkins merely grumbled, "Go straight up, the baby woke up restless." Anna didn't respond. In the room, Leo recognized her with an awkward smile. She picked him up, and he clung to her apron strap as if he knew that scent. During the morning, Anna organized toys and wiped down the wooden floor when she noticed that one of the hallway doors, always locked, was ajar. She looked around. No one. She pushed it open slowly. It was an empty room, with furniture covered in sheets. In the corner, a nursing chair and a small white dresser. On top, a framed photo, a smiling woman with dark hair, holding a baby. But something about the image bothered her. The woman seemed forced, as if smiling for a magazine. At the end of the day, while collecting cloths in the laundry room, Mrs. Rose, an old employee, gave her a look full of unsaid codes. "Some things are better left untouched, girl." Anna tried to strike up a conversation, but the woman just looked away. That woman in the photo, was she his mother? Mrs. Rose stopped. A mother is someone who cares. She just passed through here. Anna returned home with her head spinning. That night, as she washed her uniform in the sink, Sophia asked, "Why are you so quiet?" Anna replied without thinking, "Because I think I entered a house full of secrets, and even without wanting to, one of them chose me." The next day, she overheard a conversation downstairs, muffled but tense voices. "This needs to be resolved, Mr. Davis. The press will dig. There's no proof." She left of her own accord. The silence that followed chilled Anna. She? Who? Anna returned to the baby's room, sat down, and for the first time she couldn't sing, because she understood. Not everyone who disappears is forgotten. Some become wounds, and she still thought she could fix everything. The day was muggy, the Los Angeles sky heavy with thick clouds. Anna arrived at the mansion earlier. She wanted to avoid Miss Jenkins, avoid the sharp gaze and dry orders. She went straight to Leo's room, where she found the baby restless, flailing his little arms as if he felt an unnamed discomfort in his body. While changing the crib sheet, she noticed something strange at the bottom of the bed, an old cloth with light blue embroidery. She unfolded it carefully. In the corner, in delicate cross-stitch letters, it read, "Claire." Anna frowned. Who was Claire? Leo didn't react to the touch of the sheet. He seemed used to it. She tucked the fabric deep into her bag, driven by an impulse she didn't even understand. As she went downstairs to get more cloths from the laundry room, she found Mrs. Rose organizing the baskets. The woman quickly glanced at the cloth in her hands. "Where did you get that?" "From the crib. It was under the mattress." "Who is Claire?" The old laundress hesitated, then let out a long sigh. "She was the nanny. Before that, Lucinda showed up." Anna leaned against the wall. Was she Leo's mother? Not officially, but the belly was hers, and the boy's eyes too. What happened to her? She vanished. Overnight. They said she got money, that she signed papers, and after that, never again. Anna felt a metallic taste in her mouth. She returned to the baby's room with her heart pounding. She sat in the armchair. Leo slept peacefully, as if nothing around him was about to crumble. The next day she waited for the house to empty. She went up to the library. The door was ajar. On the desk, a forgotten folder. She opened it. Inside she found old documents, a custody agreement, 2 signatures. Mr. David Harrison and Claire Ramirez. Further down, a handwritten letter. "I have no choice. I hope he has a better life than mine. May he forgive me someday." The handwriting was shaky. Anna stood still for long minutes. Leo was not the son of the woman in the photo. He was the son of a young woman who was silenced, erased, sold like a footnote. She went downstairs, her face pale. Halfway down, she met Mr. Harrison. "Is everything all right?" he asked. She couldn't lie, but she didn't tell the truth either. "I'm just tired." And that night at home, she could barely look at her sister. She felt dirty, as if she was complicit in something too serious. While Sophia slept, Anna sat by the stove crying silently. She thought about quitting, disappearing. But Leo's face, the way he smiled when he saw her, that wasn't an invention. It was a bond. Only now, everything that had once seemed like poetry was breaking apart. The next morning, Miss Jenkins was waiting for her at the entrance. "Mr. Harrison asked you to go straight up to the boys' room." Anna walked past her without looking. Upstairs, Leo was standing in his crib, laughing. Upon seeing her, he extended his little arms. She picked him up and cried, not for her pain, but for his. He never knew he was at the center of a story made of silences, and at that moment, Anna understood. Someone needed to stay, even when everything told her to flee. Have you ever had to smile, even when everything inside you just wanted to run away? Leave a yes in the comments if you've ever had to keep going for someone, even when broken inside. That way, I'll know you're here with me in this story. Anna spent the night awake. In the corner of the bed, Sophia slept like a crooked angel, wrapped in the old floral blanket, the same one they'd used since their mother's death. She looked at her sister with tear-filled eyes and a question burning inside: how to stay in a place where everything feels wrong, and yet so right. It took hours for sleep to arrive, and when it did, it brought a dream with the scent of soap and a mother's voice. Her mother rocked her like in the old days. Don't turn your back on anyone who cries, my daughter, because there's pain that only listens to those who have hurt too. She woke up with her heart beating at a different rhythm. She showered without thinking, tied her hair in a loose bun, put on her uniform, and left the house before the sun rose. On the bus, she watched the city's movement with glazed eyes. Beverly Hills was still asleep, but she was awake, inside. Upon arriving at the mansion, she went straight to Leo's room. He was still sleeping, his little face relaxed, his tiny hands open as if he feared nothing. She sat in the armchair, without saying a word. The morning light streamed through the curtain gap. It was the same house, but Anna was no longer the same. She took the old embroidery from the bottom of her bag. Claire, she smoothed the fabric gently, then folded it back. She wasn't going to hide anything, but she wasn't going to run either. Minutes later, Mr. Harrison appeared at the door. I thought you might not come today. Anna looked at him with serenity. I almost didn't, but then I remembered a day when no one showed up for me, and how much that hurt. He just nodded, like someone who understands, but doesn't know how to apologize. He only sleeps well with you, you know, he said, lowering his gaze to his son. I know, Anna replied, but the tone wasn't of vanity. It was of responsibility. They stood in silence for a while. A different silence, not of secrets, but of listening. She didn't know if it was right, but for the first time, she wanted to try. The following days unfolded with a strange delicacy. Anna was now part of the house's routine, still as an employee, but with something not in the contract: presence. She cleaned the hallway floor while Leo crawled beside her, purposely knocking over toys just to make her laugh. Mr. Harrison, who previously only appeared at the end of the day, began showing up in the mornings, shirt sleeves rolled up to his elbows, his gaze less burdened. One afternoon, Anna found him in the living room trying to assemble a children's puzzle with his son on his lap. I think he'll learn before I do, he joked, without taking his eyes off the pieces. She chuckled softly. It's because he feels. He knows when someone is truly there. Mr. Harrison stared at her for a moment. He almost said something but held back. Something was forming there. It wasn't romance. It was rebuilding. Leo started speaking single syllables. The first was, "Na." Anna cried, hidden in the bathroom. "Na" was how Sophia said Anna when she was little. In moments when she was cleaning the porch or wiping down the library, she would hum without realizing it. The house, once stifled and silent, now seemed to breathe. Miss Jenkins, however, didn't hide her tension. She moved through the rooms with brisk steps, alert eyes and icy comments. The boy is getting spoiled with so much attention. Anna didn't respond. She didn't argue with those who had never yearned for affection. Mr. Harrison seemed oblivious to the silent dispute, but he watched. One late afternoon he called Anna to talk in his office. I want to enroll Leo in a preschool, but I don't want him to feel alone. I thought of something that might seem strange. Would you consider studying too? Maybe pedagogy? Anna's eyes widened. Me? You have a way with him, with children. She looked away. I don't know if I'm that good. Mr. Harrison took a deep breath. Sometimes we don't see the gift we have, because we've spent our whole lives just trying to survive. Anna bit her lips. She wanted to thank him, but couldn't. She only managed a smile, because she was starting to believe. On the surface, everything seemed calm. Leo slept better. Anna smiled more. And even Mr. Harrison, once made of stone, now chuckled softly when his son surprised him with a new syllable. But inside, Anna was at war. With every step she took inside that house, she felt like she was walking on fragile bridges. She was the cleaner, the employee, the girl from the favela who sang to a child who wasn't hers, and who might have been snatched from a poorly told story. One morning, she found Miss Jenkins standing at the kitchen door, arms crossed, an armed expression. "Don't be mistaken, Anna. When the dust settles, everyone goes back to their place. I'm not trying to take anyone's place," she replied firmly. "Yes, you are. You just haven't realized it yet." Anna felt the blow, but she took a deep breath and kept silent. Hours later, Mr. Harrison called her with a tense expression. Someone showed up at the pediatric clinic where Leo has appointments, asked for his medical records, said she was his aunt. But she didn't leave any documents and disappeared. Anna's stomach dropped. Could it be someone is investigating? It could be. Or it could be Claire herself. He said the name with difficulty. It was the first time he'd spoken Claire aloud since she found the documents. Anna had an impulse. Maybe it's time to speak up, to tell what happened. Mr. Harrison frowned. To whom? To the world. Before someone tells it for you. In what sense? A video. A statement. Simple. True. From a father. Not an executive. Mr. Harrison was silent for several seconds. "Do you think that changes anything?" "I think it changes everything," Anna replied. "Especially for Leo. He deserves to grow up with the truth, not with ghosts." He lowered his eyes. "What if they hate me for it? Maybe they will. But at least it will be for who you truly are, not for who you pretended to be." That night, after putting Leo to sleep, Anna sat in her usual armchair. Mr. Harrison appeared at the door, without his suit, without his armor. "If you help me with this video, I'll do it." She nodded. And then the phone rang. The phone call that night changed everything. It was from the clinic. The receptionist, nervous, informed that the aunt had returned in the late afternoon. She didn't leave a name or documents, but she asked to see Leo's medical records again. And when questioned, she hurried away. Mr. Harrison hung up and stared at Anna. "It's starting." She took a deep breath. "Then it's time to tell." The next day, they sat in the library. The cell phone camera propped on books. Natural light streaming through the window. Leo on Mr. Harrison's lap, asleep. Anna pressed record, and he began. His voice came out shaky, tense. "My name is David Harrison. I am Leo's father. Not by blood, but by choice." Pause. "Almost 2 years ago, I met a young woman named Claire. She came to work here. She was pregnant, alone, scared. The child's father had disappeared. I offered support, helped as I could. But when she decided to leave, afraid of everything, I offered legal custody. She signed. And Leo stayed with me." Long pause. "I thought it was best to hide everything, to pretend a prettier, more acceptable story. But it wasn't. It was a story made of fear, silence, and wrong choices." Mr. Harrison looked at his son on his lap. He stroked his head. "He is my son, and he deserves to know where he came from, even if it shows me as flawed." The camera trembled. Anna could barely hold it steady. Mr. Harrison continued. "If Claire is watching this, I just want you to know he's well, and that he smiles every day because of her, because of what she left here." The recording ended. Anna edited only what was necessary. No filters, no dramatic cuts. They published the video on a discreet profile with few followers. They just wanted the truth to breathe. In less than 24 hours, the video exploded. Thousands of views, comments of support, others of judgment. Single parents sharing similar stories. Mothers who gave up their children. Children who never knew their origins. Anna scrolled through her phone screen, absorbing every word. That's when she saw it. A simple comment, no profile picture. "I am Claire, and I saw you. I saw my son. The world stopped. She showed it to Mr. Harrison. He was speechless, his eyes fixed on that sentence as if each letter burned his skin. "It's her," he said, his voice faltering. 2 days later, a letter arrived at the mansion's gate. No sender, no external signature. Inside, a simple handwritten sheet. "I saw the video and I saw my son. He's beautiful. Thank you for taking care of him. I don't have the courage to appear now, but I want you to know he was never forgotten. Never. Claire." Anna read the letter in silence, beside Mr. Harrison. He didn't hold back. He cried, without shame, without disguise. Anna held his hand. "A new beginning doesn't demand that we fix everything, just that we walk differently from now on." He squeezed his eyes shut, his head bowed, and for the first time he seemed at peace. The following months brought quiet changes. Anna began her pedagogy course at a community college with a full scholarship. Mr. Harrison paid the tuition without fanfare, without speeches. He simply handed her the papers and said, "This is about Leo. He's going to need someone like you around." Sophia started attending a nearby private school. On her first day of class, she left home wearing her new uniform, her eyes sparkling. "I never thought I'd wear this one day," she said, smiling. The mansion, once made of marble and silence, now echoed with music. Leo walked, stumbled, and laughed loudly. Mr. Harrison worked from home with his son on his lap and toys on the desk. It wasn't a commercial family. It was better. It was real. Anna learned that she didn't need a powerful last name or an old diploma to be essential. She just needed to listen, to stay, and to care. And the lesson she carried, and perhaps it speaks to you too. Not all mending requires pretty words. Some just ask for presence and patience, because her journey reminds us of something you might need to hear today. Sometimes those who have the least give the most, and those who come just to clean end up healing what no one dared to touch. If this story moved you in any way, leave your like. It shows that stories like this still matter. And tell me in the comments, which city or country are you watching from? I love knowing who's on the other side. It makes a huge difference to me. If you believe in the power of stories that truly heal and touch hearts, subscribe. Every week, I bring narratives that speak directly to the soul, and every new subscription is what gives me strength to continue. And hey, don't leave now. Choose one of the stories appearing on the screen and find me in the next video.